Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Welcome to our studios here on the 7th floor of the DNA building in Hagåtña, Guam, where we have our full team here ready and with our coffees from 76 to bring you the morning news from Kandit. It is 6:06 a.m. and when we come back, we'll bring you the top stories.
Bottom line is we're gonna make you a better person. You're gonna be healthier and fitter than you were before.
As a defense attorney, I've represented many people who, if they weren't poor or they had received a higher education, may have taken a different path. As senator, I will propose a scholarship for those whose struggles are less academic and more financial. Let's keep our university full, not our prison. I'm Thomas Fisher. I not only approved this message, I wrote it.
Paid for by Tom for Guam, Drake Diaz, Treasurer.
This message.
I'm going to have to comment for a second about the braised rosemary short ribs I just saw in that Linda's commercial. Well, are they open right now?
6 to 2.
6 a.m. to 2 a.m. And
it's 2 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to 2 a.m.
I'm gonna have those braised short. I also heard that Jack in the Box in Tumuning is open.
Oh yeah.
I don't like mushrooms. Yeah, but
I do.
Anyway, I'm sure if I liked mushrooms. Anyway, sorry, the news. Welcome back. 3 generations of heirs in the Kanga family are fighting in court to return to them land in Ordot they believe a popular real estate broker may have scammed from them with the help of a fellow heir. The property, Lot 3286, encompasses about 23 acres of prime land fronting Route 4 Sinhanya through Ordot, running east of Ada's funeral home, heading toward the Gerber family compound. The allegations in a petition filed in a 57-year-old probate matter in the Superior Court of Guam involve accusations of a multi-year scheme and fraud of the courts that led to the 2017 sale of the property for a mere $700,000 to a company owned by the real estate agent who brokered the sale for the seller. That same agent, according to the court filings, listed the property 1 year later for $4.5 million and sold it in 2018 for $2.5 million. The clincher? The petition alleges the administratrix who sold the land to her real estate agent was not the outright owner of the property, and neither was her father. This is a developing series, an exclusive Kandit investigative report about the latest land scam against another local family. Stay tuned.
Guam Police Department officers today arrested Manny Sablon Murciano Jr. and Robert Isaac Revels, two men with local criminal histories, for the murder and dismemberment of Stevie George Alvarez Villanueva. Mr. Murciano was arrested for Mr. Villanueva's murder, according to the police chief. He also was arrested on a firearms charge. Mr. Revels was not arrested for murder, according to the police chief, but he was arrested for charges that would indicate police believe he was the person who dismembered Mr. Villanueva's corpse. On January 29, 2022, firefighters battling a trash fire in Ordot called police after discovering what appeared to be human remains in the fire. Very few details emerged at the time, except that the remains were headless and limbless, until an autopsy was performed and a sketch artist was able to recreate two tattoos on the victim's torso. Police released the sketches and asked the public for help in identifying the victim. The announcement confirms what several sources have told Kandit about the identity of the victim for months now. Mr. Ignacio said the investigation was so extensive, detectives had to fly to Nevada for follow-up investigation. Both Mr. Murciano and Mr. Revels already are confined at the Guam Department of Corrections for separate, unrelated crimes.
What does the popular mayor of Dededo think about the Democratic Party of Guam and Governor Lulian Guerrero's defense of Vanessa Williams after the ex-party attorney crossed out her son's name on a sample ballot? The Williams-Gate Blacklist 12 scandal continues to pilfer support away from the governor's campaign as the families and supporters of her opponent, Senator Selena Nelson, and 9 Democratic senatorial candidates targeted by Williams begin speaking out. Among them is Democratic senatorial candidate John Savares, the son of Dededo Mayor Melissa Savares. Ms. Savares has previously been a supporter of the administration. What does she think of the actions of her party against her son? Kandit will catch up with the mayor for comment.
Finally, former Governor Carl Gutierrez, the CEO of Guam Visitors Bureau, is in Japan trying to open direct flight service from Okayama Prefecture to our island. Japanese media last night shared photos of Governor Gutierrez and Okayama Governor Ryuta Ibaragi following their meeting on the matter at the governor's office in Okayama.
That's nice to see Guam being promoted in Japan. I think there are a lot of criticisms that can be had about the Leon Guerrero administration, but I think reasonable people would say that one of their bright spots is Governor Carl Gutierrez. I mean, the guy just keeps going.
Yeah.
He's a ray of sunshine. He is still the one for sure. And the fact that he was able to get all that earned media for us, hopefully that translates into Japan coming back as one of our largest, if not, returning to be the largest market that we have, and getting their aging population who, they have money. They have resources to spend to come to our island and see everything that's so pretty about it. Not everything's as pretty as it was before, right? But
there are a lot of Koreans out there.
There are a lot of Korean tourists. Yeah, people keep telling me that Tumon is more and more lively, and that's a good thing. Yep. I think good for Carl Gutierrez and his whole team over at Guam Visitors Bureau. Now that doesn't take away from the scandal that just keeps growing the continuing fallout from the Blacklist 12. You know, I think we have to create a graphic, Eric and Zach, because people keep asking, please print, you know, the pictures and the names of who's on this Blacklist 12. I think that's a pretty good idea. So the opposite effect is occurring from what Miss Williams intended. People want to know who's on this Blacklist 12.
So they can vote for them.
So they can vote for them, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people don't like being told who to vote for, right? And,
Yeah.
and you know, even though I'm a supporter of the congressman, I even
Me
when I
too.
approach people, I'm like, hey, can you consider voting for you know, Congressman Nicholas, or you know,
Yes.
can you consider voting for
She was an
whoever?
official party chair or party.
She was the attorney for
official,
the
right?
Democratic Party. Yes, that voice you're hearing, by the way, is our production chief, Eric
Come on,
Rosario.
come on.
His mic is hot, right? You can hear him. So this fallout continues, and both the Democratic Party of Guam and Governor Lulian Guerrero are not relenting on the matter. They have come out to defend and support their ex-party attorney, Vanessa
They can't.
Williams.
They just can't say when they're wrong, huh?
No. They refuse.
Like that would show, I think, that they're actually people and that.
Like a sense of humility, or
Mhm. Yes.
I don't know I don't know. They're not going to do that, and it's a sad thing because, you know, no matter what you think about her opponent, Mike St. Nicholas, or no matter what you might think about maybe Senator Selena Nelson, there are 9 Democratic senatorial candidates who were crossed out of that list. Among them are the most popular one being Speaker Therese Terlahi.
Yeah.
Arguably the next most popular one, if not, he could be the top vote getter in this election. Who knows? Chris Barnett. You had two incumbents, Senator Joseph Augustine and Senator Amanda Shelton, who I thought were relatively associated with the administration. And I think a lot of people thought that too. And so to be snubbed like that, this fallout, this is just the gift that keeps on giving for politics, because we're now on day, this broke on Saturday night on Kandit. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're now on day 5 of the news cycle, and it just keeps going, and it's the talk of the town. But, you know, politics isn't the only thing that's around in town. One of the things that we try to cover extensively on Kandit and to raise to the public consciousness are these land scams. And, you know, if you're a Chamorro, you know, because you probably have experience in your family with this, that land scams are prevalent in Chamorro families. And sometimes these Chamorro families are victims of greed.
Yes.
Right? And so we have discovered in filings of petitions in the Superior Court of Guam what appears to be an extensive land scam, at least allegations of them. We've covered land scams involving property in Tuman, where Guam Beachfront Residences is, and that's still an ongoing matter in court. We probably have to update that story. Of course, there is the land scam at Ukadu involving GWA, and how a Superior Court of Guam judge has issued a ruling back in November of last year suggesting that it is questionable whether GWA has any right to be on the property where it operates the Northern District Wastewater Treatment Plant. That's probably the most expensive land scam that we're working on. But the most extensive one seems to be this one, and it involves the estate of a man named Francisco T. Kenga, who had a number of children. He died back in, I think, the 1960s or something like that, or maybe 1957. This is a 57-year-old probate, so he died 57 years ago. And property that actually wasn't even in his name, that one of his children sold, the administratrix of his estate sold, that records at the Department of Land Management showed does not even belong to Francisco T. Kenga or his estate, but actually to his father's estate, a man named Felix C. Kenga. And so this property, this is a lot of property, 23 acres. This is 1/3 of a total property. There are 2 adjacent properties that connect more than 100 acres, if I'm not mistaken, or close to 100 acres of total land fronting Route 4 Sinahanya into Ordot. that are primed for development, multi-million-dollar properties altogether. And when you think about it, so apparently there's a plan, at least on some of these properties, to develop houses. Think about the cost of just one house these days. 350 to upward of $500,000. Imagine how much money you could make selling 100 homes.
Wow.
On these properties.
Man.
So you get an idea of the amount of money that's involved here. And where does that leave the heirs of Felix C. Kenga, among them Francisco T. Kenga, and the other heirs of Francisco T. Kenga, who got nothing from the $700,000 sale of Felix C. Kenga's property, which is going to be used, which was sold for $2.5 million, and is going to be used for, I don't do the math real quick. 100 homes times, let's say $300,000 or something like that. What is that?
Jeez, we're gonna need the
I don't know. I need a calculator. But anyway, so we'll continue to bring you that story. There's just a whole lot of information that needs to be compiled in the reporting of this, what is alleged to be a gigantic land scam in the village of
$30 million.
$30 million. That's so Eric did the math. It's $30 million. And so these are our stories today.
Get these in-depth stories at candidnews.com.
And subscribe to our website if you can today. Now, we're excited. Sally Aquino has been coming in regularly. She is the newest member of our team to coordinate with our production team the development of her weekly Filipino talk show. It has not been... has she settled with Saturdays with Sally? So it's going to be called Saturdays with Sally. Sally Aquino, the newest members of our team, a Filipino talk show, starting this month, every Saturday. I don't know, is it going to be this Saturday or the following Saturday that she starts? I think it's the following Saturday, right? Where she'll have her inaugural show. Yeah. And so we're very excited about that. And now we are excited to ask you to join us in turning our attention to 93.3 FM The Point. That's the Ray Gibson Show, the only morning talk show of any consequence in the Mariana Islands.
Yeah.
Well, I should say in Guam. I don't know what the talk shows are in Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. But at least on Guam, and no matter where you are in the world, you can catch Ray Gibson Show on Facebook at The Point Guam, and also on YouTube on the Ray Gibson Show. But we turn to them every single morning from when we're done with this show until 10 a.m. And then the most educational and interesting show that there is in talk radio happens in the afternoon. That's Tall Tales with Bob Klitsky and Jose Martinez on 93.3 FM The Point. Again, on The Point Guam on Facebook from 4 to 6 p.m. every weekday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Good morning.
The Jones Act is a 1920 law justified on national security grounds as a means to bolster the U.S. maritime industry. It restricts domestic shipping to vessels that are U.S. built, U.S. owned, U.S. flagged, and U.S. crewed. However, this law boosts cost by banning foreigners from competing and forcing Americans to purchase ships that are up to 8 times more expensive than those built in other countries. The result is higher transportation costs. Shipping oil from Texas to the Northeast, for example, costs 3 times more than importing oil from Africa. Ultimately, consumers foot the bill. In addition, higher shipping costs push freight from ships onto other sources of transportation, such as trucks, which means more traffic and pollution. Meanwhile, this blatant protectionism has failed to benefit builders of ships in the U.S., whose production is less than 1% of those in China and South Korea. Domestic builders have seen over 300 shipyards close since the early 1980s. Jones Act defenders claim the law ensures adequate U.S. ships during times of war, that during U.S. deployments during Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm, foreign-flagged commercial ships carried twice as much equipment as their U.S. counterparts. In fact, the U.S. was so desperate for shipping that it twice requested the use of a cargo ship from Moscow. Both requests were denied. So the Jones Act has failed to achieve its shipbuilding and national security goals while driving up costs for consumers. It's time for this outdated, costly, and ineffective law to be repealed. It's time to end the Jones Act.